Hello Year 3 and 4 and happy Friday to you. So this is the last lesson for English this week, and today's aim is to write sentences about a picture using fronted adverbials. Because next week what we will be doing is we will be applying the skill that we've learnt this week of fronted adverbials to the motion picture of Baboon on the Moon. We will be trying to make the story come alive with words and using fronted adverbials to do that too. So let's have a look at a little recap today. So one of the important things that we covered last lesson was all about adding commas. So every fronted adverbial word, phrase or clause needs to be followed by a comma to separate it from the main clause of the sentence. And we had a look at different ones last time we were on here, and had a look at this one about the juvenile badger being released back into the wild, and this was about slowly and carefully being released. So another little recap, they are used to tell the reader more about the action in the sentence, such as how, which is manner adverbials, when, time adverbials, or where, which is place, the place that something happens. A fronted adverbial is separated from the main clause with a comma. For example, like a speeding bullet, Superman flew through the sky. So some of you may recognise this picture. This was our challenge on Wednesday. So if you've already written sentences about this, great. You could maybe pause the video and tell the person next to you, the adult in the room, or one of your siblings, one of the sentences that you came up with. And I am going to use this morning to help you. I'm going to do a couple of sentences about this picture using fronted adverbials so that you can then have a go at your two pictures today. Okay, so this is a point in the video which you can come back to and revisit when you're writing your sentences. I have put a smaller version of this onto your worksheet so that you have examples of adverbials, but I'm going to keep flipping between this today so that I can see an adverbial that I would like to use for my pictures. So here we go. I'm going to go back to the picture. So I have a lady here, she looks quite happy, she's drinking a drink. I've got a dog there which I think looks a little bit grumpy, and I've got a gentleman here who is also looking quite happy with his drink. So let's have a look if we can find an adverbial to work with this. Okay, now I'm going to look at manner because I've already talked about how they're doing something. So how can also be an emotion, so the manner can be an emotion. So let's have a look down the manner list. Sadly, that could apply to the dog, couldn't it? Sadly, the little dog sat on the lady's lap. That could work. Slowly, what could be done slowly in that picture? Pause the video now and have a little think. Yes, they could be drinking the drinks slowly. Now, there's one here that I think goes with what I spotted already. Happily. So I'm going to use that one. So here we go. I've moved my fronted adverbial onto the correct page. Happily. What comes after a fronted adverbial? What's really important to remember in terms of punctuation? Pause the video now and have a little think. Yes, well done. A comma. So happily, the lady and gentleman drank their, I'm going to say it's a hot drink, drank their hot drinks outside. There we go. I have a sentence with a fronted adverbial. I'm going to check through my sentence to make sure it makes sense. Happily, the lady and gentleman drank their hot drinks outside. Great. Now, for those of you that fancy a challenge, you could come up with your own adverbials. So I'm going to demonstrate that now with a time adverbial. So they've got coats on, they've got a scarf on, and they've got a dog. What might they have already done and come back from that involves the dog? What do people normally do with their dogs outside? Pause the video now and have a little think. Brilliant. Yes, they might have gone for a walk. So let's think about a time adverbial. After after having done what? Pause the video now and see if you can think of a fronted adverbial to use to say that they've just come back from a walk. Well done if you came up with your own. This is my example. After walking their dog, the lady and the gentleman sat down to have a hot drink. There we go. So if some of you are thinking, oh, I need a bit of a challenge, that could be your challenge today, coming up with your own adverbial. Please make sure you read back through your sentence and check it makes sense. So I'm going to do that now. After walking their dog, the lady and the gentleman sat down to have a hot drink. Great. Now I'm going to show you your pictures. So here's the first picture. We have a little baby chick inside an egg. So let's think about a fronted adverbial that we could use to describe this picture. Let's go back to the word bank. So I think for this one, I would try to look at a manner, so how the little chick is coming out of the egg. So let's have a look. Sadly, he could be a little bit sad. Bravely or slowly, so bravely the little chick pecked through the outside of the egg to get out. Or you could say, without warning, the chick began to crack through the shell of the egg to get out. Suddenly the chick started pecking away to get out of the egg. I think my little chick is going to be brave, so I'm going to have bravely. Now I'm not going to help you too much. All I'm going to do is I'm going to type my fronted adverbial, bravely, and then I'm going to talk you through how I might finish it. So bravely, the little chick started to chip away at the outside of the egg. So that's an example that you could use today. Feel free to use my fronted adverbial, or if you want a challenge, try and find your own from the word mat on there. Pause the video now if you want to use this fronted adverbial to start your sentence, and then you can always come back to do the next picture. Now here's picture number 2. Let's have a look at what's happening in this picture. Now we've got a bird here, and do we think, to get all of this splash here, do we think the bird has moved slowly or quickly? Now I'm going to go back to my fronted adverbial word mat and let's have a little look. Now I quite like sometimes using a simile. So you could say, for this one, I can see that he's being quite quick. So what's quite quick? Like a speeding bullet, the bird started to flap his wings so that he could get up into the air. Or like we've got an example here, as quick as a flash, as fast as he could. So I quite like this one, as fast as he could. So again, if you want to use my fronted adverbial, you can, and I'm going to talk you through how I would finish it. As fast as he could, the bird flapped his wings with his feet tropping on the water so that he could start to fly. As fast as he could, the bird started to flap his wings. It could be as short as that. So don't forget, children, you can come back to this point in the video and have a look at the word mat. There is a small version on your worksheet today. And now I'm going to show you the challenge. So if you get to the point where you've done 2 sentences, one for the first picture, one for the second picture, and you still want a bit more of a challenge, here you go. Here is our Friday challenge. It says, how many sentences could you write about this picture? Don't forget, each one needs a fronted adverbial. So there's a nice busy picture here. You've got lots of things you could talk about. So I hope you enjoy your writing today, and I will see you in our next lesson.